Yeah, but I mean, there are legit megalithic structures that we still can't recreate today. Don't know how to fucking do it. Pyramids all over the world that we can't
go back
recreate.
like Tepe.
And we create mysteries. We perpetuate mysteries that we have the answers to because people like a fucking mystery. Like they solved Jack the Ripper years ago. I'm like, people still come out with videos. I'm like, who's Jack the Ripper? I mean, it's crazy.
Cory, do you have any information on the Moai from Easter Island?
No, none at all.
I know that
I've
those things are
wanted
huge.
to know that.
They're not just heads.
Yeah.
So obviously this makes me question it, especially with what we're talking about and how if you question everything, you're like, I don't know. But like they just recently, I would say, I think it was in the past 20 years, discovered that the heads had full fucking bodies that they were on top of.
I think that was in the past couple of years.
Oh, okay. So then they excavated them and found out, like, yeah, most of them were actually, but they're all one piece. And they're like, dude, how did they get these one-piece structures? Which now it's even more mystifying because it's not just heads; they're full bodies. They're like, how did they get them over here? How did they get them submerged underneath the rock? And how did they do it without really leaving any evidence that they submerged them with rocks? Especially when the rocks aren't made of anything on that island for several thousand miles.
I'm not saying it was the aliens, but it was.
Well, you know what? I'm pretty convinced that everything was bigger a long time ago, including humans. I'm pretty convinced that giants existed. I don't know how big they got, but just to think we had 8 or 9 foot tall motherfuckers walking around all the time, it'd be a lot easier to build heavy shit. If we had a ton of those
they've got
dudes.
more than that. They found 12-foot full-on burial sites of 12-foot skeletons down in like Arizona, and then tried to send them to the Smithsonian, and the Smithsonian rejected them because they said it didn't support, yada yada yada, and they did away with them. There's also places in China that supposedly we have never been able to explore or have any information on because they won't allow anybody in, whether it be aerial footage or archaeologists or anything like that, that, in my opinion, might actually shed some light on quite a bit of this shit.
Yeah, and all of Antarctica, most of it is a no-fly zone. We have no idea what the fuck's going on there. They got a couple of military bases, a couple of other, Halliburton or whatever they're doing down there, whatever operations. But it's very mysterious, places like that. We have no idea what's going on down there.
I want to go to Antarctica. Let's go, guys.
Hey, expedition.
Talk about
I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's.
I don't
too
think
easy.
Antarctica exists. I think that's where the simulation ends. So just throw some fucking ice up there.
Touch the wall. It's like, okay. Go back.
So I had a weird fucking experience this week, and I am not a Mandela effect guy at all. But I got to tell you this freaked me out. So I've been studying Kennedy for years, studying the 3 tramps for years, and I had always read and concluded on the documents that they were pulled out of a grain car full of grain. That's always how it's been. For years, I've known that. I go back to when I'm writing my book, I go back to do the little touch-up research, and all of a sudden, it's not a grain car anymore. It's a coal car in all the fucking references where I went back and looked. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I hope that it's just me being, doing too many drugs and nothing else. But it freaked me the fuck out because I would have sworn on a stack of Bibles that it was a fucking, it was a grain car. And now my new research, all those places where it said grain car, now it says coal car. I'm telling you, I'm promising it's me and my past drug use. But it can't be reality.
Nah, that's Mandela, man. Let's see. I'm going to go to the chat here, see what we got going on. X-Cube is saying... Where did X-Cube say? Scientists did say they need to send DNA samples to the moon just in case something catastrophic happened to the Earth. Man, I don't know. We have this seed vault. You guys ever heard of the seed vault? Where they have, seeds from everything.
Sweden or Norway or something. It's in Scandinavia somewhere. Yeah.
Give me a synopsis.
Well, if that thing, it just holds seeds from all the plants on the planet, all kinds of other, DNA and stuff like that. But if that thing would go during a catastrophe, we'd be pretty screwed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we have quite the seed vault at our house.
We got a few.
We'd be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe everyone else would die.
Our chickens might die.
Well, I learned quite a while ago that we don't actually have any you cannot go out and plant and grow bananas. They have cycles of clones and that is they have an original that they use, and there was something that happened with a recall on one of the. This had to have been probably 7-8 years ago. Is that there was like a recall on when bananas, they were like recalling them out of the store, something had gone wrong with them, or when the plantations that they were getting them from, it said that there was an issue, or and they ended up finding out that they were going to have to do away with the current banana clone that they were using to make bananas. And my brother-in-law at the time was like, yeah, you can't just grow bananas. Like they always show it on like the cartoons, these banana trees, and it's like, yeah, those have had to be made, and we can't make bananas anymore. We don't have any of the originals anymore.
So it doesn't go off seeds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I'll try to find it before we get out here, but I had heard it's that to me is like one of those things where it's like, dude, bananas could cease to exist, and nobody would even think about why, because we don't have a seed for it.
I probably wouldn't think about why, because I don't really care. I don't really eat bananas, but I like banana flavoring. As long as they keep the banana flavoring recipe, I'll be good.
Yeah, I don't think you need bananas for that.
No, just chemicals.
All right, guys, let's move on to one of my favorite topics is the UFO thing. There's been hell of discussion about it lately. You guys had some cool guests on about UFOs recently. You had Terry Lovelace, a few other individuals. There's a lot going on with it, but it's so frustrating for me because the mainstream media is showing us TR-3s and drones and things that we made. You know, I think this whole phenomenon is so beyond anything that any of them understand. I don't think it's a physical phenomenon at all. The more I come to learn about it, I think that this may be some kind of intelligence, just like one consciousness entity controlling all of this. I'm not even sure that physical aliens even exist. I don't know. I have no idea. But it's very interesting that the connections that are coming up with consciousness and non-local consciousness, and the way that people are communicating with some of this stuff and interacting with it, it's very strange, and it doesn't fit the traditional UFO narrative anymore. You got to throw in a lot of other stuff together with it. But the fact that the mainstream's covering it and trying to say that it's a nuts and bolt threat type thing, it's really frustrating. What do you guys think about the whole situation?
I think I've said that exact thing on a couple shows where I think all of this is the same thing. It might be a long bow to draw on that, but ghosts, I think
Demons,
I think
angels,
it's all jinn.
aliens.
The idea of the jinn, where they can, like a genie, they can appear as whatever they want. So that would explain. It's probably lazy thinking, but that would literally explain all paranormal stuff: Bigfoot, aliens, ghosts, whatever else pops up.
Yeah,
Dogman, Mothman. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, but nothing really makes sense. So we just have our speculations to lean on. We have
the most grounded one of us here, Cory. What do you think? What do you think's going on here?
He hates aliens.
He does. He wants to grab one and fuck one to make sure it's real.
Do it.
Good metric.
Any weird shit. I like my standard, governments lie to us and there's spies who do shady shit, and that's the fun stuff. Like when you get into the creepy cult and aliens, I'm like, my brain just shuts off. So.
Well, hey, yeah. Speaking of creepy cult, man, I mean that's unavoidable. The world's run by a creepy cult, and they definitely believe in that stuff. They love playing around with it. So. Yeah, the creepy cult stuff is definitely real. What do you think about all that? Do you think that these guys, first of all, you think it's one faction that's running everything, or it's just a bunch of little peppered factions that argue with each other and try and control things?
I think it's a little both. I think there are little peppered factions that aren't as high up as whatever is watching us. I think I don't know, multiple layers.
Yeah, it's like if you know their names, they aren't shit. So anybody we see like Gates or Bezos or any of these fucking people, they're like, oh, that's the cabal. I don't think so. I think the cabal is nameless and faceless, and that goes back to, like you said, the occult thing, where they're taking their orders from somebody else that we don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, It could be, but they definitely do believe in this stuff, and it all goes back to this, Babylonian death cult stuff. But, it started that way, and then it kind of, I think it extended into all these other things, and the formation of religions. So they took these old occult practices, they integrated different belief systems into it, and then they formed religion to form like this slavery control system over us, and just I think that the whole purpose of religion is to keep people fucking spiritually confused and not know what the fuck's going on, not seek the real truth.
That's working.
Yeah.
Rastafarianism, because they smoke a lot of weed. That's cool.
I can get down with that.
Oh, yeah.
I like their music.
So what do you guys think? You think that we're going to see the full admittance of aliens or extraterrestrial life, and they're going to fake something? Because if they want to continue this narrative that they're flesh and blood little green dudes coming in their tin can spaceships from different galaxies, something's going to have to happen. They're going to have to continue this thing where they have to prove it somehow, right?
This COVID narrative is fucking falling apart. So expect something to totally make people forget about all of the last year and a half.
It'd be more interesting, that's for sure.
It would be more.
It's coming, and I just don't know what. But also in the next, since it's coming sooner than later, the big market crash is going to come, and that's going to be tied with all this stuff.
How do you think they're going to handle it, though? I mean, the government sucked at handling the COVID thing. Whatever narrative they were trying to spin, we're like, we've got this. We're going to control everybody. All right, no, let's try aliens next time, okay? It's going to suck. Like, there's no way they're going to be able... All right, if anything, I think it will be the breakthrough where most people will be able to tell that the government is fucking lying to us, because they're going to do a terrible job at it. I have zero faith in the government's ability to control us with aliens.
Well, I think because I think both of you guys are right. I think Joe's right. I think they tried their damnedest, and then when it completely backfired in a large scale, they're kind of rushing their schedule. And I think that they're going to be pushing these fail-safes that they thought they had more time to cultivate onto the public. And I think from there, the tip of the spear is already in. I think that at that point, people are already kind of wising up to this future of misinformation and just straight up lies. So I do think it's a little bit of both. I think that they're definitely going to have something huge, whether it be the economy. I mean, we saw what happened on the East Coast. They put out a thing that there was a gas shortage, and it created a gas shortage because you had these idiots from last year that were going and trying to fill up trash bags and stick them in the trunks of their cars to save gas.
Let them. Tell them to carry lighters and keep them lit.
Caused the gas shortage.
That's funny you say that, because we were just talking about the imminent bacon shortage in California.
Oh, yeah. Did you guys see that? The bacon shortage?
No.
That is some serious shit right there.
That is. That's terrifying.
California is creating these new laws for pigs, chickens, or egg-laying chickens, and cows for veal. So they're pretty confident they can do it with the cattle and with the chickens, but with the pigs, they're like, we're not sure. So I was scrolling through the crappy news just to see what dumb articles there were, and there was a imminent bacon shortage in California. And I think that they're doing that because they want us to all start eating all the bacon so that we can die of heart disease. They want us all to die off. That's my negative black pill side. But there's no bacon short. Come on. And who needs bacon? Like, I love bacon, but
Corey needs bacon.
You don't need
I think
it.
bacon's pretty goddamn good for you. Like all them Atkins fucks do it, right?
Yeah, didn't that guy die though? I mean, it's all good.